Hey yo, welcome back to AIW's The Card is Going to Change. My name is Ronald Two Legs, and as always, I am here with AIW owner John Thorne. What's up, Thorne?
My name is John Thorne. You already mentioned that, so I'm here.
We're back.
We are back after, a week-ish off. I'm back in my house now, so back to our regularly scheduled programming, I suppose.
One day late, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we maybe could have tried to do something last week, but it was just getting there was just too much going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I just meant usually we do on Mondays. We're here on a Tuesday because I had a little bit going on yesterday. I was actually in the emergency room.
ER Ron.
Yeah, emergency Ronald. It has been somewhere around 17 years since I've been stung by a bee, and we had to go ahead and reset the sign for 0 days without incident because on Saturday I got stung by a bee, and I am kind of allergic to bees. Not like EpiPen immediately allergic, but allergic to where wherever I get stung is not going to be having fun for a while. So yeah, my whole leg swole up and it was a whole thing. So I had to go to the emergency room yesterday and get some medicine for that. So that's why we didn't record yesterday. But we're back this week. We got some shows lined up. Is kind of an understatement for this rest of this month. This coming Saturday we have the North Canton Street Fest coming up. Is a free show.
100% free.
100% free. And last year, I mean, that's a good time. You talk about, a fair, a street fair plus wrestling. So in between these shows, you could walk around and get some street food, fair food type of stuff. Last year, Malcolm Cambridge, all he wanted was that funnel cake, and he got one. That's for sure.
Also, it's always a good time when you can be drinking on the street.
Yeah. Yes. Good point. Yep. There will be beverages.
Yeah, they get those Dora cups or whatever. I don't know what it stands for, but they get whenever they get this special designation, you're allowed to pretty much drink on the streets. There's also bars on the street that you can go in and get drinks and walk around. Beer and alcohol vendors, adult milkshakes, all kinds of stuff going on. Prince cover band, Weezer cover band,
Pav's Creamery. That was a hot spot last year.
Oh yeah, they had alcoholic slushies or something down there last year.
Oh yeah,
there's lots of alcohol to be had. I know it's the show, the AIW show is going to be very family friendly, but it is a very alcohol infused event overall, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, all clean music, no swearing, no swearing during the show, stuff like that, but you will be able to imbibe in some adult beverages, that's for sure. No adult language, but beverages all around.
Yeah, language is a no-go, but beverages is full go. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. This always seems to be a kind of a good morale booster show, too, for everybody. Everyone has fun. It's a little looser. We're allowed to kind of do some, quote unquote non-canon type things. Oh yeah. Because it's just sometimes the shows just hit Patreon, but they're never really fully released. So.
Couple of my favorite moments from last year's were definitely some non-canon events. Not to pull the curtain back too much. Let's just to say something you're definitely not allowed to do at any type of AIW event, but it went over. In this one, Spider-Man jumped the rail and got involved. Was it Spider-Man? Right? Yeah, Spider-Man. That was an incredible time. I don't encourage anyone to do that, but it was a lot of fun last year. And then also we had a man off the street, if you will. One of the wrestlers had always had a dream to just be like a guy on the street and come off the street and go in and wrestle, and they got to fulfill that last year, and oh god, that was a great time.
Yeah,
guy in the purple shirt, right, was his name?
Yeah, purple shirt. I think that's what the crowd was chanting.
That's great.
Yeah, it's just it's a fun day. You know what I mean? Multiple shows throughout the day. I think we're gonna do 4, maybe 5. We'll see how it goes. But you can. First show's kicking off at 11 a.m. this Saturday, and we're going all the way up until the bands start, which I believe is at 6. So plenty of AIW shows and matches and things for you to do this Saturday, 100% free.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing, like we said, some of these, AIW non-canon shows, you get to see some faces you're not normally going to see or maybe haven't seen yet, maybe under a mask or under some sort of gimmick you're, not going to be, in the future. But a lot of times you get to see some up-and-coming AIW, talents that, maybe haven't been around yet. And I got some messages from a few of the students for the kids, for some songs in case they're, in case they get in there. So you never know, what you could see on Saturday, who you could see or what you can see.
Yeah, and I mean we wound up doing some of that at the
Fonzie?
Hartville show. You know what I mean?
Oh, Hartville, right.
And pre-show for the Fonzie stuff as well. So yeah, I mean. It's very loose. It's fun. You know what I mean? It's like, especially like when so much stuff that we do is like kind of high pressure. You know what I mean? It's it's nice to kind of have like a low pressure sort of day. You know what I mean? And that I don't want that to be misinterpreted as like it's like taking like it's gonna be any less good than anything else. It's just like a lot looser vibe for everybody, so like everyone had like the talent can have a little bit more fun, you know what I mean? Like they don't have the pressures of like streaming on Fight, and like it just could, like the live era has brought so much additional pressure to the talents, just because everything is live, everything is seen. There, you know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of time, restrictions and things like that here. So, it's just a lot looser vibe, and everyone seems to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's certainly a great day. I mean, you can't beat, funnel cakes, corn dogs, all kinds of booze, milkshakes, and wrestling. What's better than that? And free of charge, free 99, as they say. It's a great day overall.
Yeah, I mean, they have like they also have like different vendors and all kinds of different things going on too. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, it was full on street fest last time. I mean, there was people selling like, handcrafted candles and like, stuff like that. Like it's like a full on like
windows for your house.
Yeah, yeah. It's a full on like, fair kind of like market district.
You need aluminum siding. You could probably get it there.
Yeah, it's there's pretty much, they had like people doing animal shows and stuff. There was stuff going on all over the place, so even if you want to just come to one or two of the wrestling shows and then wander around and see what else they got, there's fun to be had all day to make the drive out to North Canton this Saturday for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's just it's a good time. It's free, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of shows. The summer is just jam packed, so whenever we get these opportunities to make things free of charge, we fully encourage everybody to take full advantage of it.
Absolutely. As far as the last show, the Fonzie, you want to run down anything that happened? I didn't get to make it, so I'm anxiously waiting to see the replay on Fight. But is anything you want to discuss? I know you alluded to some things online in lieu of Wrestle Rager. You said that anyone that was there live knows that we maybe have something kind of big coming. Do you want to allude to that at all for anyone who maybe didn't get to see it yet?
Well, I'm trying to hold off because, I'm waiting on the edit so we can get it over to Fight, and then hopefully, they can show that, obviously, unless you've been kind of living under a rock, Chase Oliver, who is, heads up pretty much all of the production stuff and all this stuff, he did rupture his Achilles at Absolution, and he did have his surgery just a few days ago.
Yeah.
So, he's recovering and things like that. So, I don't want to put too much pressure on him, you know what I mean, to try to force it out. So, we're just kind of patiently waiting on that. But, and like I know some of it's out there, but some people remain spoiler free. So I don't really want to spoil too much about it. I will say that I thought that this was by far the best year since we've been going out to Ashtabula as far as just attendance, just vibe, all of it. I feel like it finally really came together this year. Based on, even though it wasn't raining, based on the storms the night before, the grandstand area was just like flooded. So, it was just a mud pit. So we had to move to the indoor location anyway, and I think it ended up just like making for such a cooler vibe. It was like pretty much just in a barn, and it just like, I don't know, it just felt cool. You know what I mean? People are just like doing a hardcore tournament in a barn, and the middle of nowhere, pretty much. I really enjoyed it. I know you weren't there, but a lot of stuff unfolded. See, this is where it gets tricky because I don't want to spoil. So
sure.
I think that it was what I think was great about it is like it went from being just like a one-off tournament to like really becoming like a vehicle to move things along. And like I said, build to Wrestle Rager, which is coming up on the 26th of August. So people that were in attendance, I think, understand where I'm going with this based on how everything concluded that evening. I hope that they want to do it again next year. I know that they were hopeful for some more ticket sales. I don't know if they got those totally. I know that it wasn't a raging financial success for the organizers. But if you want us to keep going out there and having that event, please reach out to the Great Lakes Geek Fest organizers and let them know that you enjoyed it. And, that's the thing is, I know we say it a lot, but, if you want these things to keep happening, it needs the support. So I'm not 100% sure if they got all of the support that they needed to move forward with doing it again next year. They weren't totally like rah rah, let's do it again at the end of the night. They were happy with the show overall, but I think that they maybe had bigger expectations for attendance and things like that. But I don't know. I really liked it. I thought the vibe was great. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to, you know what I mean? It's hard to say. Like, it's hard to say too much, without saying too much, if that makes sense.
I feel like the weather maybe had a little bit of factor on some of the attendance, as far as maybe just walk-up stuff, people that were just going to show up day of. Maybe we're a little worried about the rain, the day before and stuff like that. But I do think visually the way it looked, and I obviously seen GIFs in the day. I know a lot of people didn't have the greatest, reception in that barn, but I did see a little bit of footage from it, and just visually,
it was like a cell phone dead zone. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was like living in like another universe. I'm trying to send text messages to people that are there. And like, hey, you know what I mean? Because like everyone was kind of, everyone spread out all throughout this fairgrounds. Like the locker room was like, looked like a horror movie. It was like all these like empty like hog pin things, like all these like metal gates everywhere. It was so, it was like something out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something. It was like so bizarre. And like people were spread out throughout these like buildings, and I'm trying to find people, and it's like the text messages are just not going through, and like it was just like a cell phone dead zone. Like I'm Facebook Messenger, everything, nothing was working.
Yeah, but as I was saying, like it did visually looked really cool, but yeah, that barn kind of just was a no text zone, so might have been a little difficult as far as getting signal out, to give stuff like that. But hey, like you said, that might have been for the better as far as spoiling any of this stuff, because typically in the day of phones and everything, a lot of stuff is hard to be spoiler free. But I looked around because I wasn't able to make it, so I was trying to find content, and there's not much of it. So I'm definitely still spoiler free on my end. Yeah,
I mean it's so I'm hopeful that Chase can get that to me soon, and then hopefully Fight puts it out there pretty quickly once they get the files and all that. And like we did try a little bit extra stuff since it wasn't live, that he's got to edit in. We were getting promos from the winners and the losers and things like that to kind of edit into the overall production of the VOD release to give it a little bit more pizzazz, so to speak. So it's a little bit more difficult than just like, here you go, here's the file. Like there was more stuff going on because we were trying to make it, really come off as a special event, which it was a special event. I really think that it's just, like if we can get, another, 50, 75 people to come out to that thing, it's, because it looked really good in that barn. But they have tons of expenses, and they said that the fairgrounds would it's not new ownership, but like new people or elected to be in charge of it. I don't know how fairgrounds work, but they said they raised the rental on them considerably. So I think that kind of came into play as to why they were kind of a little bit behind on making money or making a break even. But I just think it was I just think it looked so cool in there, and it's just even like the drive out there, like I drove out there alone, and it's just weird because it's like you take the highway out there, and then like it's like you hop on these side roads for a while, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just like this weird eerie feeling, like you're like, I don't know how to explain it, but the whole drive out there is just, it just gives you this like weird, I don't know, like something when you're driving out in the middle of these like fields in the middle of nowhere, Ohio.
And yeah, I mean, it definitely, in my opinion, bears repeating that, the guy, Chase, just had like 14 staples in his leg. If you've seen the photo that he put out, I mean, he had a real deal serious surgery, and, you may think, hey, editing this stuff, whatever, getting it together is not that hard of a job. It's a lot of work, and, it's not something we just want to, you don't want to pester anyone who's just had some serious surgery like that. So that's kind of the reasoning. When it hasn't been out yet, you got to give Chase a little slack there, because if you did see the photo of his leg, my God, gross. Those staples are rough.
Yeah, and I mean, I've had a lot of people reach out, which, it's nice that there's so much interest in seeing it, but, I'm just not going to put any, too much pressure on it,
Absolutely, but yeah, like I said, I just want to make sure everyone knows that's kind of the, we're just trying to not, rush the man back to anything crazy here. Right
I will
away,
say that. I will also say that, even though we could probably figure it out, I think that we're gonna not stream Wrestle Rager live as well, just in case. Just so many different things could happen. And just to kind of make it like a, kind of a, you got to be there sort of thing that day, and then we're gonna do Wrestle Rager as a VOD release at a later date as well. And like, I know that we ended up streaming it last year, but it was like, like game day decision, you know what I mean? And it's just like, you got to run it off of, like the internet in the bar. And I just got a feeling that there's going to be far too many people there and far too much to go wrong as far as the wires and everything else. So I think we're just going to shoot it and edit it at a later date as well. So if you're planning on skipping Wrestle Rager and you wanted to stream it, we're not going to stream it live. So it's going to be the same situation as the Fonzie tournament. You just don't know with the internet, and these are like all kind of one-off buildings, which there was no way that we could have streamed the Fonzie tournament. We couldn't even get cell phone service. So, like nothing would have worked in there, even if we had like a crazy hotspot plan or something. But same with the Wrestle Rager, like we probably could get a connection, but we're there one day a year, and like I don't want to bank on that, and then something goes wrong. So I'd rather just release it as a VOD later.
It's also just to show that you got to be there at Wrestle Rager to really feel the atmosphere of that place and the rowdiness, and just the heat outside. It's always a really nice hot day, you know what I mean? So people are thirsty. And it's just a special day in general that you really got to be there. Streaming it live doesn't really do the justice.
And it's just, it's just like I was saying about the pressure being kind of off for North Canton. It's the same thing. Like Wrestle Rager is just not a show that like you want to run on any sort of tight schedule. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, it's a party. It's, Wrestle Rager, so we're not going to be, hey, we're live. I think that just kind of like I don't know, defeats the purpose of Wrestle Rager. Yes, it will, eventually stream as a, VOD release on Fight, but I think as far as like living in the moment of Wrestle Rager, I think everybody's got to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the sunlight is the only time constraint we were looking at on a show like that, where it's just kind of anything goes.
That's why we're starting at 4 o'clock. So I'm almost positive it's 4 o'clock now. I got to look it up to make sure. There's just so many fucking goddamn shows. It's hard to keep track of everything right now.
Tickets are flying for Wrestle Rager 2. There's been several announcements made. If you don't have your tickets yet for Wrestle Rager, that's something you're definitely going to want to do. These next 2 shows coming up, North Canton Street Fest and also Hartville, again, both absolutely free. But if you want to go to Wrestle Rager, that's going to be one you're going to need to hit that ticket link for, because tickets are going extremely fast.
There's probably not going to be any tickets available at the door. We have less than 100 available right now. So, and I mean, we still got like 18 days or something like that. So
I would have to think that when people are hearing this as well, tickets are going to go. So, people are going to hear this podcast and they're going to know that it's not streaming, that there's low tickets. So don't wait around, because it's definitely a show you don't want to miss. Wrestle Rager every year is just a sight to behold. And I for one, cannot wait for this year.
Yeah. So, I'm just looking at it right now, and 4 p.m. Wrestle Rager. There's less than 100 tickets left. So,
wow.
And rain or shine, obviously. If it rains, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do, but we're not gonna. It says no refunds right there. So,
I wouldn't be surprised if they get that ring up. If some people try wrestling in the rain at Wrestle Rager.
We'll see what happens, but this one I think is going to sell out. We have 0 announced for it still, so which is crazy. Like it's selling just based on the reputation of the day. So don't be left out. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, another kind of. Reason to come to Wrestle Rager, we were just discussing earlier, early 2000s fans, CKY, the band CKY, Bam Margera's brother's band, is their new band, his new band, the lead singer's new band, 96 Bitter Beings, also playing a show. I know V-Trigger is on that show, with a local Cleveland hardcore band that has a pretty big following, especially wrestling-related V-Trigger. Obviously, if you know the Omega reference there, they play a bunch of wrestling like cover-type songs. So to stick around after Rager, if you still got any gas left in the tank, there's going to be quite the evening planned at now that's class, or excuse me, it's called No Class now. Excuse me for that. I can't.
Jess Margera is not in this version of CKY.
Bam's brother's not in the band, but they sound very similar to CKY.
It's the original singer who was with them up until a few years ago. So if you've heard CKY, it's going to sound pretty much exactly the same.
Right.
So, he pretty much, I think, just does CKY songs, but he can't call it CKY. So he calls it 96 Bitter Beings. I know people have like reached out if there's some sort of deal or something. Like they're charging $20 to get in. It's in the side room in the showroom at No Class. I don't think that there's any sort of deal, you know what I mean? Because it's 2 separate events. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that they have to pay the band or whatever. I don't know how band touring works, but there's. I don't think that there's going to be any sort of deal. I mean, you can reach out to No Class and be like, hey, if I'm coming to Wrestle Rager, can you cut me a deal? I don't know what they're going to say, but I'll fucking drop the $20 to go in there and watch that band. I don't plan on going anywhere. So
absolutely, that's what I was gonna say. What's another $20? Once you're a few bottles of Mad Dog MD 2020 deep, what's another 20 down in the bar? To get in to see 96 Bitter Beings.
Right. So
and like I said, the opening band V-Trigger is really good. I've listened to them before. It's a wrestling related band. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a good show.
That's how I actually even found out about this, because V-Trigger tagged AIW and were like, check out this doubleheader like on August 26th. And I was like, wow, that's pretty random. So then I looked into it. I was just like, yeah. So AIW at 4, 96 Bitter Beings and V-Trigger at 7, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a wild, wild day. You know what I mean? And I encourage everybody to Uber or Lyft or, take a taxi, whatever it is. I do not
Carpool.
I don't encourage anybody to drive down there because parking's going to be rough. And everyone's going to be drinking all day. So, you know what I mean? Just plan accordingly is all I have to say. And then, probably whenever 96 Bitter Being's over, we'll probably wander over to the Funhouse or something.
For those always wondering and asking about a return, this is not an official return or anything like that, but, we're going to be right around the corner, and we're trying to make a full day out of this thing, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a casket sesh or two later in the evening at the old Funhouse.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the funnest, it's the biggest party of the summer, honestly. You're not going to experience anything like Wrestle Rager. So, and we have a pretty interesting card lined up, to say the least. The main event, I will say this now, it will be a fans bring the weapon situation.
Oh boy.
That's all I'm going to say, for right now. And, yeah, I mean, like I said, if you want to come to Wrestle Rager, you better buy those tickets soon. And then, also, this summer is just crazy. We just announced August 18th, we're going to be back at the Hartville Marketplace for a 7 p.m. start. Ahmed Johnson is going to be there, which is totally random. This one just got added at the last second. Hassel Toy, who, has a shop in there and has been bringing different signings to the Hartville Marketplace. If you remember, Ahmed Johnson was supposed to be there when we were there the first time. Apparently he was able to lock him in for this as a makeup date, so he reached out to us this week and we locked in a deal like on such short notice. But we will be there on August 18th. That one as well is 100% free.
Well, nighttime flea market wrestling. Evening, per se.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you want to do the Ahmed Johnson meet and greet, there's going to be an additional cost there. I'm not sure what he's going to be charging, but then you get an AIW event on top of it all, 7 p.m. on August 18th. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, man, summer's just fucking crazy.
I mean, maybe you're in the market for nunchucks. Maybe you're in the market for a Ninja Throwing Star. Maybe you're in the market for a Glock 9mm. They have all of these things at the Hartville Flea Market, including Ahmed Johnson meet and greets. I know last time the roster came out of there stacked.
Yeah, there's been a lot of weaponry around AIW, man. The venue auctioned off a gun at Absolution.
I was so mad I didn't win. Bought a couple of those tickets.
Just crazy. But yeah, so we're back at the Hartville Flea Market. And then, of course, September 9th, we're going back to Wadsworth. We're bringing the cage out. Oh, Mikey Montgomery, Eric Taylor, finally going to settle their score one-on-one in a steel cage.
I love AIW for the fact that fairly certain Eric Taylor found out about the cage via the announcement. He saw the graphic and said, "Wait, what now?"
Hey, Mikey was politicking. He says he wants to keep the rest of the goon squad out. So I mean, can accommodate.
It was funny too because you had put up. You put up a post in the AIW Facebook group page. If you're not a part of the AIW Facebook group page, we do have a private group page that kind of is all the AIW, universe type stuff in one spot. Feel free to search that out on Facebook. But it was announced there, who do you want to see? What kind of stuff do you want to see? And there was a lot of Mikey, Eric in a cage suggestions.
Yeah, and that one hit the regular Facebook as well. And same thing. A lot of people wanted to see it. So, we're giving the people what they want. I did not. Right. I definitely did not clear it with Eric Taylor, but
that's what I was going to say. It seems like that's AIW is giving you what you ask for, and John Thorne, the Booker man, not clearing this with the wrestlers. He's saying you want it, you got it, and we're going to see these two in a cage. And Eric Taylor's got all his goons, and Mikey's got his boys with him. But this time it's going to be just those two, and I'm really excited for it. We've had a lot of cage action going on this summer, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and I mean, It's the Wadsworth show is another, one of those community events. So, anything that, the AIW fan base can do to kind of create that synergy within, the community event and help them out. You know what I mean? It certainly, it could become a great relationship going forward. Obviously there's other things that are going on the 9th, but we're trying to bring everybody down to Wadsworth, 4 p.m. start, cage match. Probably plenty of time to do other things in the evening. We got Swoggle coming out to Wadsworth. He's going to be doing a meet and greet, as well as, all your AIW favorites are going to be in the house.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, it's kind of a similar thing to Ashtabula is, they have an outdoor venue area booked, and they have an indoor venue booked. So regardless of whether the show is on September 9th, one way or the other, so they have, they have 2 different kind of locations secured for that date. And I'm just looking forward to it. I hope that, we can, draw people from that community and, kind of, mix in some of our fan base as well. And, keep that going too. It's crazy that we can't get any of these sort of co-promotional opportunities all year. And then in the summertime, they just come out of nowhere at us.
Yeah. And the thing to be said too about these fair shows and kind of these non-normal wrestling events and crowds is the crowd at these shows is a lot of fun, because it's not your typical wrestling fan who is really trying to just not over smart everything, but the crowds at these shows, they're just there to cheer and boo, and it is a lot of fun to be. It's like going back to the days of when you first got into wrestling, and you're surrounded by people who are just there for the fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time at these shows, and it's definitely something you want to come out and check out.
Yeah, and that's going to be another non-streaming live situation, just because the internet is probably so kind of unreliable, because we don't even know if we're going to be outside or inside. It's all, weather dependent and all that. So that one is also not going to stream live. So if you want to see Eric and Mikey, go at it in a steel cage, there's only one way to live it, and that's live on September the 9th. They have all sorts of different ticketing levels and, deals and things like that. So yeah, and make sure you reach out to Mainstream Wadsworth and, let them know that you're coming out to support, because, if we get everyone out there to support, then, they're gonna bring us back again, or maybe even more often than once a year to the area. So if you're from, that general area and you want AIW down there a little bit more, by all means, please support this event, because, I sound like a broken record, but that's the only way these things will continue to happen and, get us in these new markets and these areas. And I thought Wadsworth was cool. I mean, I don't know if this is a knock or the positive, but it was just seemed like Anytown USA. It had a cool little main street with bars and restaurants, and do you remember we walked around afterwards? And
oh yeah,
it was just I don't know. There's there's a lot of cool stuff down there. It's not like a town I'm getting to on any sort of regular basis, but when we were down there, I was just like, man, this is a cool little area. It's everything's nice and clean down there, and tons of bars. There's breweries and different things all throughout the Main Street area. So hopefully, the AIW fan base can come down and, show them why they gotta keep bringing us back every year.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool area. That one a little bit easier to park and kind of get some, park somewhere and just kind of wander around the city, and the Main Street Little Fest. Was there a cop going by my house? Sorry, I apologize for that. But it was definitely a cool little area. I remember we went to that brewery afterwards and got a bite to eat, and there was a band playing and stuff. It was just a cool area for sure. Yeah,
so I'm just I don't know. I'm excited, nervous. Hope that we can deliver on all these kind of different things, that are coming up. And then, obviously the big one, JLIT weekend, September 15th and 16th. Like, that's like calling all cars situation. Like, we need every fan out that weekend because, it's another big test. They're testing us out in the big room again. So this is the one that, it's not a last minute situation. This one is advertised, and there's there's plenty of notice, and we're really loading up that JLIT lineup this year. So we need everybody out on the 15th and 16th, one way or another. We need people out for those shows, because we want this to be the biggest independent wrestling event ever in Northeast Ohio. And, we're putting a lot on the line on the 15th and 16th of September. So, we need everybody kind of, one way or another, one show, two shows, all three shows, anything you can do. We need people out for these shows that weekend because it is, it's do or die for us.
Yeah, I know if you're part of the Patreon, I believe the entire field has been announced. But if you're not, you want to sign up for that Patreon $5 tier, gets you all the info there on the Patreon.
$15 tier gets you the info.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. 15 on the info there. But some heavy hitters have been announced so far for this thing, and I'm very excited. I know they all haven't been announced yet, but some names that have been announced. Paul London coming back, fan favorite Paul London. I know a lot of people want to see him. Psychosis, Magnum CK. There's a lot of names being thrown around that are already it hasn't even all been announced yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot on the line for this weekend of shows. It's by far the most expensive JLIT lineup of all time. When you mix in with the big room and all that stuff, there's a lot at stake here. So we need everybody out. This is plenty of weeks' notice. We need everybody that possibly can come out on the 15th and the 16th to get out there and buy a ticket. It's just it's paramount for the future of this company. That's what I'll say.
Are tickets available yet for that? Has that gone on sale or just?
Oh yeah, everything's on sale. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All three shows: night one, fresh meat on Saturday, and JLIT night two. Everything's on sale.
There are. This big room is my favorite just for the reason of there's just not a bad seat in the house. There's so many great seats available. The general admission that's up in that bowl area is a great seat. Those tables, the VIP, whatever you want to call them, tables, a group of 4 tickets, easily the best deal in the house as far as I'm concerned. The view from there is incredible. You get your own little kind of area, a table to sit at. It really doesn't get better than that. So if you're a comfort person,
the floor is 100% just floor. It's no GA on the floor. So
right,
there's 5 rows of floor available, and there's no GA, no anything, and those are as close as you could possibly get to the ring. We've eliminated the stage seating, and hopes to, we added a 5th row on the floor, and then obviously those tables, which are, right off of the floor. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we gotta fill it up. That's all I gotta say. We reduced the ticketing prices, for, traditionally what we would charge for a JLIT. We bumped things down. We got rid of the packages, to try to, help everybody out with the fees, because the fees are based on, the large ticket number, the ticket price number. So we got rid of that. Like, we're doing everything we can to accommodate everybody as best as we can. And, we do need to fill it. Now, as far as free parking, I don't know if they're going to do free parking for this weekend, just based on the fact that there are potentially going to be other events happening in the other rooms. So I don't know what they're going to do as far as that. So this is your fair warning on that. Okay. Like, if it's just AIW, I'm pretty sure it's free parking. We've worked out that deal. But if they book another event in another room, I don't know what they're going to do. So just putting that out there in the event that there's other things going on, be prepared. Okay. This is weeks and weeks of notice. So, nobody should be caught off guard by this. Okay. Just trying to get that out there. And, like I said, we gotta do our best to pack this place on the 15th and the 16th.
It's definitely a show that you want to get to. JLIT, we've talked a lot about AIW and what they do for some names in the Cleveland wrestling community and trying to keep those names around and the memories and, honor these people. And JT Lightning, certainly a name that if you give any shit about Cleveland wrestling, you got JT to thank for that. And it's definitely a weekend you want to come out and, honor a guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really crazy to think this is going to be the 10th JLIT weekend. And by far, we're going big. So, it's we've played around with changing where it's at in the schedule. You know what I mean? Last year we bumped it to August. Now we've bumped it into mid-September. I think that this is hopefully going to be, it's where it lands on the schedule every year. We've had difficulties with it at different places in the calendar. When it was Memorial Day weekend, that was always tricky. And then, when we moved it to August, that was also tricky. So we're hopeful that this move now to mid-September is kind of, the what we've been missing or whatever, why the event has missed the mark at certain different times that we've tried it. And that's why we're going so hard with it too. I really think that this is a great place for it on the schedule. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, it's a lot of pressure, and it's just, we've talked about it before, but it's like not only the financial pressure and, the business pressure, but the pressure to deliver something, I take it very seriously that, JT told me to make sure nobody ever forgets me. That weighs heavy. I know I've talked about it on this podcast before, but it certainly weighs heavy. So I'm hopeful that this is the one. You know what I mean? 10th time is the charm, so to speak. And some of them have been really bad financially. Some of them have broken even. I don't know that any of them have really been resounding successes. But this one, the hope is to break even, because it is a big mountain to climb. And if we break even, I'll be happy. I want that fucking temple packed. Like I said, on top of all the other pressures, it's pressures of, okay, we're going to put you in the big room with notice. Let's see what you guys can do. That's big. You know what I mean? That's big pressure. That's a big opportunity. And it's, it's ours to lose from the way it sounds. So, we need everybody out to kind of, help us, kind of, put our stamp on this place and, hopefully stay in that big room and, have a secure home in Cleveland for the rest of the year, as well as, through 2024 and beyond. That's the thing is we're trying to build a relationship here. So we do have a home base again in the Cleveland area. We lost Mount Carmel, we've lost the Odeon, now we lost the Winchester, now we're here. And we're trying to, really kind of, cement our place here.
To me, it's a weekend. It's like a vacation weekend for me. I'm going all out, man. I'm getting a room. We got JLIT Night 1, then we got the Fresh Meat 3 in the afternoon of Saturday, and then JLIT Night 2. I'm gonna be downtown hanging out all weekend long. That's what everyone should do. Go find a cheap room now. You got plenty of time. Get on the the apps out there and find a cheap room downtown and make a weekend out of it. Come down and that's your plans for the weekend. AIW Wrestling. It's going to be a great weekend, in my opinion. I can't wait.
I mean, that's how I do it when I go for something, you know what I mean? Like I treat, if I'm going to an event or something, it's like a vacation. I'm getting a room, I'm doing it up big. I just don't know, you know what I mean? Like all wrestling fans are a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like, it's like people that go to a music festival, that's how they do it. You know what I mean? I don't know if wrestling fans look at it like going to a wrestling festival or something. You know what I mean? Like, But I agree with you. I think, and we are trying to find a hotel. RIP to the airport Hojo. That was
nowhere
bulldozed.
near it though. It wouldn't even be near it at this point.
Yeah, but it was, it was still like it was bulldozed.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find, Porter O'Shea is trying to work out a deal with a hotel somewhere. If anybody out there listens to this and has an inn with hotels or works for hotels or whatever, reach out to Jim at AIWrestling.com. He's trying to find a deal for everybody to go, a place for everyone to go and stay. And we'll see what happens. But I agree. We gotta make it. We gotta make it a weekend. We need everybody all in on this. And just we got to do it. This is. I know we've had these dire situations before. It seems like they happen so often, but this is really one of those dire situations. Like we're trying to cement our claim, and secure a home base, that's central for everybody pretty much, in downtown Cleveland. So this is what we got to do. We got to pack that building 9/15, 9/16. Like there's no other option. And this goes out to the people that are competing in the tournament as well, or at some point over that weekend. Like this is like, calling all cars, calling all friends, calling all family, calling everybody to get them to descend on Temple Live on September 15th and 16th.
Yeah, I mean, end of the summer party, like I said, treat it like a big weekend. Let's go down there. Let's get a hotel. Let's freaking hang out, be there all weekend. We got 3 wrestling shows that are all packed cards. I know a bunch of stuff going on. It's like I said, it hasn't all been announced, but there is a lot coming in the future announcements for the JLIT tournament, and it is going to be a great weekend. Get your tickets now because, the sooner you buy, there's no real reason to wait. If you're going, I know, sometimes money's a little tight, but got a lot of free shows coming up. Get those JLIT tickets now. That way you're locked in.
Yeah, and I mean, get those tickets. Let's sell those floor tickets. I know a lot of the tables have already sold out for the weekend. Next best seat is getting on that floor and filling that floor up, and then, it's working on the bowl seating. If we need everybody out, I'm going to say it every fucking podcast from now until September 15th. We need everybody that we can possibly get to that building on September 15th and 16th. Like there's no other option. Because man, I want it so bad. I want to fucking pack that place so fucking bad. For so many different reasons. And we need it to happen.
It just looks so good. It's such a great venue in there. You know what I mean? It's just such a cool room. There's no bad vantage points. You know what I mean? Any seat in the house is really great. It's just a great room, and we want that to be our home. Like you said, that we want to solidify AIW as the number one company that we are in Cleveland and show these guys, this is how it's done. This is how AIW parties. And I mean, there's no better time and no better reason than to come out and honor JT and pack that place.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just something that we got to do. And, I know that there's a lot of those situations that come up, but, we're hopeful that, this can lock us in, to have a place, going forward. And that's what we're trying to do. It's just, we're looking for that stability, so we can, kind of build up what we had been doing in the Cleveland area. Now we bounced, we bounced around and around and around, and, we did the small room, and then we, got this opportunity in the big room on a whim, based on like a construction issue. So, and then, we were able to kind of do like a big, call to action, which, I think really helped the walk up, in June, and they were very impressed by that. And so now they want to try it again with notice. And, man, like if we can get that room going forward, like, that's pretty fucking sick. You know what I mean? Like that's a big time feel. It's just, it shows, that Cleveland is a destination for wrestling. And, I'm just really, man, I want it to happen so fucking bad.
You hear that, Cleveland? If you give a shit at all about Cleveland wrestling, the Temple Live is the place to be on September 15th and 16th for all three shows. And I'm really excited for Fresh Meat 3. We've seen a lot of these students have been around. You've seen the students on the guardrails, doing security, meet and greet stuff. You've seen them all around. There's a whole, a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people have been really impressed with the last batch of students, Big Sam, Shaw, AJ, Vic, all these guys, everyone coming out of the school. And here comes another crop right behind them that, are ready to show you what they got. And I'm excited to see all these new faces. It's going to be a crowded locker room, and people are going to be competing for spaces and showing out and showing what they can do and really kind of going all out, because there's only so many spaces on the card. You know what I mean? So you got a whole new crop of students coming in. Every single show, people are going to be doing their absolute best to try and, make sure their spot is safe. And to me, that's what I'm excited for. You got brand new crop of students coming in. It should be a good time.
Yeah. And I mean, look at last year, you know what I mean? Like, just based on performances, crowd support, there's various factors, but people like Sam Holloway, Shaw Mason, Austin James have found themselves on a ton of regular AIW events, and then, also, Vic Weiss has been kind of scratching and clawing his way, through. So, it's pretty crazy that, a year ago, these guys weren't even known, and now they are, full-fledged members of the AIW roster, and they've obviously bumped some people off shows and taken some spots, but like you said, now we got a whole new crop that are they're like angry dogs, they're coming, and that's what's getting so interesting about kind of coming out of COVID, and we're back on this regular schedule again, and now we got a whole new class of guys that are coming, and they're coming for Sam Holloway's spot, they're coming for Shaw Mason's spot, they're coming for Vic Weiss's spot, and the competition, internally, it's healthy competition, but it is a competition nonetheless, and there are going to be people that are, that they didn't train to wrestle. They wrestle one time at Fresh Meat on September 16th. So that is what is so interesting about Fresh Meat to me, is these guys are coming for spots.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Friendly competition is always a good thing. And that's what, breeds great matches and great wrestling. Nobody's safe. Anybody's spot can be overtaken, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, no doubt. And, especially when we've, lost the Thursday night schedule, with the Winchester, there's fewer spots available than ever before. So, it's going to be very, very interesting on September 16th.
It's definitely a calling all family and friends there for the students. If you're coming out, it's you want your cheering section to be loud and proud. So you definitely want to get those tickets sold too for Fresh Meat 3. It's definitely not one to sleep on. If you plan on being on that card, you might want to get your people to get out and support you, because that, believe it or not, your first match, you want to have some people in your corner. You know what I mean? That definitely helps you. You come through that curtain and there's a big roar. That's gonna put some wind in your sails, as opposed to you come out, it's a little flat. So you want to have your people there in attendance, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, it's just it helps. It helps so much, because that a wrestling crowd is an infectious situation. So it just kind of helps. If you got a lot of people there, and people are going nuts for you, it's going to be hard for people to not jump on the bandwagon, so to speak. So yeah, I mean, we got a lot we're throwing at the wall that weekend, and man, I just want it to be fucking packed. All three shows it has the potential to be so incredible, but also so disastrous all at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot in the works there, a lot in the cards, and a lot depending on this weekend. So, not to sound like a broken record here, but if you're a fan of AIW, Cleveland Wrestling, you want to come out and support. This is the weekend we're really looking for it. Wrestle Rager, like I said, I don't feel too worried about that. I know that's always going to be, a sellout. The tickets are going to sell. If you don't have a ticket for Wrestle Rager, you better stop fucking around and get your ticket, because that is going to sell out. But this, September 15th and 16th, JLIT weekend, we need all the support we can get, and I feel confident that the Cleveland AIW faithful can do it.
Yeah, I have pretty much no worries about Russell Rager, you know what I mean? We got these free gigs coming up. Little concerned about Wadsworth. Just for Main Street Wadsworth and what they're trying to do, I want that to be successful, obviously. But 9:15, 9:16, that is just that's do or die. I don't know how better I can explain it, or make people understand it. It is, it's, if you read between the lines, you could probably figure it out. But it is, it's a do or die situation for us. We need everybody out there on the 15th and the 16th.
Hell yeah. Anything we're missing? Anything we haven't really gone over yet? We're coming up here on the hour mark. Anything we're forgetting about here, or you want to mention prior? We've kind of went over a lot of info with these next three kind of upcoming shows and stuff.
No, I know I asked for questions in the one in the group. I think the Facebook group. I don't remember what they are, but I don't know if they're still in there. But yeah, it's just. I don't know. It's been a whirlwind, kind of getting back into my house and getting back to normal. So, just been kind of readjusting to life, honestly.
Yeah. There was a couple things we could throw out there. One was, is there going to be another Halloween theme show this year? The Calling All Skeletons card that we did last year. Is there plans to bring that back?
I would like to. We just have not secured a venue for it. With the Winchester going away, we just haven't found a new bar kind of home, for stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, I really don't know, there was talks about maybe doing it in Kent, but, the last Kent just did not great. So I don't think that they're going to have us back out there, honestly. So I don't know. You know what I mean? We haven't found, we have not, as of now, it is not on the schedule because we haven't found a venue for it.
Well, with that being said, if you do know of a venue or, bar space somewhere with room for high enough ceilings and a wrestling ring that is looking to host, a wrestling themed show, feel free to reach out to Jim at aiwrestling.com and get in touch with Coach, and maybe we can find a home for this thing if anybody does know of one.
Yeah, because right now, we've struck out thus far.
Jack wants to know, I know you're probably not going to get too much detail, but is there any, I'm sure you got your pencil working, any big ideas being tossed around for Hell on Earth this year? Anything in the works you're proud to allude to?
To be honest, we've just been working on so much stuff, and with the summer tour, I have not locked anything in for Hell on Earth as of now. Mm-hmm. We have kind of a little bit of a blueprint of where we're going to build to the end of the year, which we would be hopeful to close the year at Temple Live. But, again, that depends on how JLIT goes. So nothing yet. I'm going to start trying to maybe lock in a big signing person or something, mm-hmm.
Hopefully
soon. Yeah, honestly, have not locked anything in thus far. I've reached out to some people, and nothing has come together. Sporadically throughout the year, I tried to lock some things in, and it didn't work out. So I got to get refocused on that. It's just, man, there's been just so many moving parts with all this stuff, And like I said, the Hartville Marketplace show just came up the other day, and I was really adamant of trying not to do it. And, it just became something we couldn't say no to. So,
sure,
it's just been, it's been a lot of juggling on my part.
Yeah, we have had a busy summer, so there's not been done too much for Hell on Earth, but always a marquee show. So I'm sure you'll get something going here once it starts to slow down a little bit from the summer dates. But not really anything else going on question wise that's too relevant. I know there's one Lash put one in there that had you going laughing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not acknowledging that.
Yeah, right. I'm not going to bring it up. But anything else before we get out of here?
No, I mean, not at all. Maybe Saturday we can get some round table podcasts going again. In the in between hours or whatever. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe we can utilize that time.
If there is a show that you would like to see maybe reviewed or talked about, or an AIW personality you want me to sit down with and talk to podwise, feel free to shoot me a tweet at 2 LEGZ AIW at 2 legs AIW. Shoot me a DM or tweet me, hey, I would love to hear from this person. And Saturday we're gonna have a bunch of people in the house. We can sit down and record all kinds of some Patreon content this Saturday for sure.
Yeah, and I did for the $5 tier. I did put up your little sit down with Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham and Trey Lamar, kind of discussing prior to their big Absolution surprise appearances what they were feeling. So that's available for the $5 tier right now on the AIW Patreon.
Awesome. So we got that one. We got the one with the Duke, talking about the Haas boot. I know we got another one that's down. It's me and some of the guys talking about the Gathering, some more wicked clown talk.
That's going to go up this week probably, so...
Perfect. Okay, so we'll run through those, and I'll get some more stuff for you this Saturday for sure. Be working hard to get you guys some content for that Patreon. So please feel free to sign up for as little as $5. Gets you the Patreon content. Like you said, $15 gets you the direct info. A lot of these people have known some of these people are buying JLIT tickets because they know who number 24 or 23, whatever, announced on the on the JLIT roster. Is going to be.
Know about the secret Saturday only appearance. They know a lot already.
Yeah, and that Secret Saturday appearance, whoo-wee. I didn't know if that was announced on the Patreon. My God, that's going to be a barn burner. So definitely get out, get your tickets. JLIT weekend, September 15th and 16th. We got 3 shows. We got Wrestle Rager coming up here. We got 2 shows for free coming up. We got this Saturday at the North Canton Main Street Fest free show. We're going to be running all day from like 11 in the morning until like 6 at night. We're going back to the Hartville Flea Market on Friday, the weekend after, Friday the 11th, I believe, at 7 p.m.
18th.
Excuse me, the 18th. I'm sorry.
This Friday is the 11th.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad. Bad with dates sometimes. Should have had it in front of me. I'm trying to just go off memory. But there's plenty of free wrestling coming up, plenty of tickets to be bought up, so get out there, get to the ticket link, take care of all that, and get your seats. Make sure you're not going to be missing out on a great weekend of wrestling here coming up in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, that's about it, and like we said, Rager is close to selling out already, so don't be shut out on that. But yeah, we're pretty much like locked in for the rest, for like every week, for like a couple weeks right now, it seems.
Yeah, for almost over a month here. We're going to be every weekend of AIW. So, all right, well, for myself, for John Thorne, for AIW, we'll see you next time. Thanks.